A small plot of land is only an asset if it can produce. For a poor farmer named Ramu, years of failed rains had baked his soil into cracked, useless clay. The continuous droughts destroyed his crops season after season. With zero yield, his wife and 2 young children were staring down empty plates and the immediate threat is starvation. When ecosystems and local economies collapse simultaneously, the human mind often freezes. Paralysis is a frequent response to a disaster of this magnitude. Ramu recognized that waiting for the weather to change was a fatal error. Staying still in a dying environment guaranteed the destruction of his family. He left his plot behind. Taking a massive risk, he walked away from the only life he knew in his rural village to seek out manual labor in an unfamiliar urban center. His survival didn't come from luck. It came from the decision to trade a familiar, failing life for an uncertain one with a higher ceiling. This chart shows Ramu's starting financial position in the city. With zero capital to his name, he was forced to take on debt simply to rent an aging rickshaw. He immediately had to apply the principle of mehnat, or intense hard work. Pedaling a heavy rickshaw from dawn until dusk placed intense physical stress on his body, leaving him with agonizing leg pain after every shift. The mental toll was even heavier. He had to force himself onto the rickshaw every morning, enduring that pain while the initial daily payouts barely covered his basic needs. This model demonstrates strict discipline. From daily revenue, he subtracted living expenses, isolating a tiny fraction into a savings reservoir. He consistently took this exact fraction off the top every day. Notice this unbroken upward trajectory. His method prioritized mathematical certainty over a volatile windfall. Labor generates income, but without the discipline of micro-saving to capture and store that value, the money is often spent as quickly as it is earned. Ramu was operating in a competitive gig economy. He was just one driver among thousands fighting for the same fares. This network map shows how he stood out through imandari, honesty. By never overcharging, his character became a rare differentiator. As you can see, his fair dealing built a strong brand reputation, generating a deeply protected cluster of loyal customers. Commuters actually shifted their behavior, often bypassing closer available drivers specifically to wait for Ramu. This loyal customer base helped stabilize his income, transforming an unpredictable hustle into a more reliable daily revenue stream. In a saturated market, moral consistency acts as a competitive edge. It turns transient labor into a sustainable business. The daily micro-savings eventually all added up. Ramu accumulated enough capital to stock renting and purchase his own rickshaw. This changed his daily math. The rental fees he once paid to a landlord now stayed in his own pocket, significantly increasing his take-home pay. He directed this surplus income towards his children, enrolling both of them in school. Education provided his children with options his parents never had. He was no longer just surviving the present day. He was building a strong buffer against the next inevitable drought. When his former neighbors from the village saw his progress, they asked him how someone could climb out of such a difficult situation. As Ramu told them, the initial circumstances of one's birth do not ever have to be the final word. With enough endurance and a consistent plan, it is possible to build a new trajectory from the ground up.